Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is not only a special day, we're on the short bus. Now, we are three podcasters walk into a bar, and I am sitting here as president and CEO of the Sandstone Group. My name's Stu Turley. My two compadres right here are RT Trevino. He is the head dog over there at Pecos Operating, but he's got his own podcast, The Crude Truth. Welcome, RT.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Coming around the
Thrilled to
corner.
be here. Thrilled to be here.
Coming around the corner, we have the great one, the almighty. That's all I can say right now. David Blackman. He is a Forbes contributing author. He is the podcast host for the
Energy Question.
The Energy Question. And I mean, both of you guys got some great podcasts. And also, David's on the energy transition with the great Armando and Irina. So
Yes.
Yes,
we just recorded one of those this morning. It was great.
How'd it go?
Oh, just wonderful. We got a little radical conspiracy theories, all that kind of stuff. It was great.
Oh, right down our alley.
We solved all the problems, I guarantee you.
Good. You know, RT, you and I need to plan on being on that next one because I like trolling them when they're actually live. You can't beat this kind of entertainment. I don't know why LinkedIn doesn't show my live or YouTube, whatever it is. I get on there and it blocks me out. So, you know, I'm over there just putting in all these funny things and I'm a legend in my
we
own
didn't
mind.
see it today.
I'm a legend in my own mind. And then after the show, poof, comes up.
Well, I want to add this to David Blackman's introduction. I would also say the Energy Oracle of Texas is what I would also say.
Okay. That's a new one. I'm just envious of you guys getting to be CEOs and presidents.
RT, did you say the energy orifice? What did you say?
The Energy Oracle. No, Orvis is a fly fishing company, Stu.
Oh,
yeah.
I got to clean out my ears, or you got to learn to talk. I'm not sure which one.
It's one of the two. It is one of the two. No, David, you have been your podcast, your Substacks. I can't believe Ford is still letting you write the way you're writing. That is awesome. I commend them.
I have editorial standards. I comply with everything,
Yeah, but RT, when you have reach that David has, when you have 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 people reading his articles for every article, you can, that's almost Joe Rogan status.
Yeah. That's me, the next Joe Rogan.
Well, I heard the enthusiasm right there. I heard the enthusiasm. I think, and another thing I want to point out is that David, you were, and again, I want people to know this, that, we got an absurdity every day for the last 2 weeks.
Well, not quite every day, but
as I like to say, pert near. And we also got, a lot of news from you while you were on vacation.
That's right.
So thank you so much for continuing to, really Stu should probably be thanking you for continue to give him things to talk about while you were out of town on vacation.
I'm the kid you guys not. There was one morning when I was out on the sun deck by the pool with my laptop typing out an energy absurdity. That's my life, folks. That's my life.
I hope the thong didn't get in the way. The thong did not get in the way, did it?
And no, they don't make a thong in my size, man. There's no way.
I want to
unless I go to the big and tall thong.
The big and tall.
Or the big and
bragging
short.
is a sin. Bragging is a sin.
I want to come back around, David. You were talking about that you guys kind of got into it. It sounds like a little bit as far as getting out there a little bit on this last energy transition. Is that correct?
Well, no, we were talking about COP27 and all the rhetoric that Antonio Guterres was spewing on Monday and opening that conference and talking about how we're on a highway to climate hell. And, you know, that guy, and he is, for those who don't know, he's the Secretary General of the United Nations. He makes the same speech every time he talks. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes the same speech, only he gets increasingly frustrated with the lack of response to what he's saying. And so every time he makes the same speech, he uses more shrill language around the whole climate emergency thing. And it's just very tiresome. It's incredibly tiresome and destructive, frankly. And it's you know, I just wish he would, somebody could get him a little more reined in what he's saying, because it's all nonsense. And, you know,
I
it's
heard
just
somebody the other day, and I can't remember if it was either RT or me, but we said he sounds like a cross between AOC and Hillary. Shoot,
he's something, man. I just, anyway, I understand what he thinks his job is. I just don't think his job should be what he thinks it is. And but that's just my opinion.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, because I just got done and I released it last week. My episode, my second, my first repeat guest on the Crude Truth, but Wayne Christian.
Oh yeah,
And,
Wayne.
Yeah, and good old Wayne. He cracks me up. And but he talked about it, and he was plain as day. He goes, "This is a climate hoax." And it'd be real interesting if people go, especially towards the end of the interview we did. He goes off into the far right and talking about following, follow the money. And he said a few things that I would have not expected even any politician to talk about. And so he definitely was going a little bit to the far right, and very, very fun to talk about. And he's like, "Hey, follow the money, stupid." He goes, "We're going to go with that old Democrat saying," is what he said. And he goes, but he talked about, how certain things are just lining up the right way for all these billionaires to do stuff. And I'm like, are you really talking about that right now? Like, I was like, man, I had to stop. I said, then you can come back on after the election and we can talk about all this.
Well, that's how you know he was feeling secure about being reelected. Not mincing any words. That's the hallmark of a politician who knows he's going to win.
That's right. I ran into him in the hall the other day, and he said, "Vote early, vote often."
There you go. I think they all like to say that. Vote early,
vote early, vote often.
I think they all like to say that. Man, that is hilarious. I like, yeah, no, he definitely even looked at the camera, because I guess there's some dispute about campaign contributions, and he looked right at the camera and goes, "Hey, I will take your money." And he goes, "I don't know any politician that won't." And
well, yeah, and there's no limits in Texas, and so I mean, it's that stuff comes up every cycle,
Yeah, every year. Yeah, no, but it was another good one, and like I said, we kind of got out into the weeds, and we got into it a little bit there, and so
RT,
I can't wait for you to release this episode.
I loved Wayne at the beginning when you did an introduction to Wayne. And David, this was wonderful. Wayne Christian, he goes, "Hey, thank you for coming back. You're my first retread, my first interviewee coming back." And Wayne goes, "What did he say?" He said something like, I must be the only one that."
Yeah, I must be the only one. Yeah,
it was a really good slam. I mean, he stapled your head to the carpet, RT.
Well, I thought about coining the old Saturday Night Live, but people probably wouldn't know that John Goodman hosted, several times, but one time he re-hosted, and Tom Petty was a musical guest, and about 2 years later, he hosted again, and Tom Petty was the musical guest, and he goes, "This is not a rerun episode," and so I wanted to let people know this is not a rerun. We're not to that point yet. We're not the Crude Truth is not on syndication yet. Maybe one day.
Yeah, but man, if you can have Wayne on, you should just have him on as often as he wants to come, because he's incredibly knowledgeable and entertaining.
Well, what I would like to do, guys, is once we get past this election, I'd love to get all three, and hopefully, I can share this. I'd like to get all three of the railroad commissioners there at the Dallas studio and kind of do a big panel thing.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something worth people watching.
Yeah, they're all great public servants. I've interviewed all of them and written stories on them, and they're doing great work at the commission. They've done so much. Really over the last half decade, there's been so many excellent reforms to the regulatory structure in Texas, and improvements in the staff and the systems that the commission uses. And if those folks aren't pushing for all that to happen, it's not going to happen. And they're always doing it on a shoestring budget, despite this massive budget surplus we have in Texas. And so it's always an underfunded agency, and it's not an easy job. And I really respect and admire all of them.
Well, I know I listened to old Greg Abbott last week. You talk about that surplus budget that we have here in Texas because of the oil and gas industry.
Because of the yes, and
let's be honest. I mean, that is why we have it, because of the oil and gas industry. And I know we have to pay our taxes every month, on our production checks, and that ad valorem tax goes straight off the top, and that state tax comes right off there, and so we have to pay it. But anyway, I know Greg Abbott was talking about the other day that he'd love to give half of that back for property taxes to help lower people's property tax here in the great state of Texas. I thought that was an interesting one, a very, very interesting if we could actually do that, because I think it's 67 billion or 27 billion. I don't know.
27 billion surplus going into the session, and that's a lot of money in the context of a budget that over a 2-year cycle is about 220, 230 billion.
Yeah.
And people, going back to the taxes you pay every month, people don't really realize that Texas, among the oil and gas producing states, Texas is one of the highest tax states on the oil and gas industry in the country.
You don't hear that.
We pay a lot of taxes on oil and gas production in the state of Texas, but it all goes for good purposes and helps fund education and healthcare and really everything. And so it's just
I don't
great
mind
industry.
I don't mind paying taxes if it's not spent like it's their money. If it's spent like it's
Right.
our money,
Right.
I don't have a problem. And I think that the politics, I saw an article yesterday, and they said that the left wing people in Austin are having to leave because it's gone too right. So it is really bad when Austin has gone too far right. That means there are more and more lefties coming into the state that are now complaining. We don't want them to turn this into California, bum central.
No.
This does not need to be bum central. Leave Texas alone. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a problem, of course. Like you've seen what's happened in Arizona and Nevada over the past 20 years, with the big influx from California, Colorado, actually, even before those states. And
what you guys think of Carrie Lake? I think she's a hoot.
Oh, she's my favorite in this cycle. Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Christy Nome is still my favorite. She's not even in the cycle, but
right. Yeah.
South Dakota, Christy Nome still. But why, David? Why is Miss Lake getting your vote?
Because she's so plain spoken, and she's very Reagan-esque, like Ron DeSantis.
And she was trolling the press. I loved it.
But she does it all with a smile on her face, and she has goodwill to everyone. And
in fact,
and it's just like Reagan, just the happy warrior kind of thing that I wish Donald Trump had and didn't. And that's why I'm just such a huge DeSantis fan. And it's obvious that Carrie Lake has learned the same lessons. And her presence on television is so impressive. And of course, she's 27 years as a TV news anchor is why. But that's a real strong benefit in a politician, is being so good on television. I just think she's got unlimited potential in the political world.
I would agree.
Wow.
So is this an oil and gas podcast or a political podcast? Anyway.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that while we were talking about everything else, and it's like, we can talk about Biden making what he said again over the weekend. We can, but I feel like we're really now rehashing, like so many old stuff right now that's going on that, I mean, Stu, you tell me, I mean, is there something new going on other than high oil prices, high gas prices? Europe is in a disarray, and we have a president that doesn't understand the oil and gas industry.
Well, what was that movie, Sixth Sense? He sees dead people. I mean, this is just absolutely abysmal. And then, he's over there talking to somebody that died 6 months ago. And then he's saying, I'm going to end all the coal plants. RT and David, what's happening is we talked about double down, triple down, and now we're into quadruple down. That's what COP27 is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And on almost every single podcast I do, I torture my guests. I'm kidding. But I mean, I absolutely believe, I don't care if it's renewable. I don't care if it's solar. I don't care if it's wind. I don't care if it's nuclear. Let's get the lowest cost kilowatt per hour to the consumers.
Yeah.
All right. Let's let the markets decide with the least amount of damage on the environment. You got to have natural gas to do it. You got to have oil. You got to have all these other ones. Let's let the market decide. That's not happening. And they're forcing it again in Europe and in the COP27 again. Did you see the number of airplanes that showed
Oh my God. Hundreds and hundreds of private jets flying into Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt. Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
Right.
Hypocrisy, RT, is something that is not spoken about enough. They're asking in Germany to not take a shower. All right. Let's have a little inside baseball here. During COVID, what was the most number of days that you went without a shower?
I almost never go a day without a shower.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, because I stink, man. I gotta have a daily shower.
I definitely take a shower every day. Why, Stu? How many days did you miss during COVID?
My wife finally got by and she thought the dog had died. But when you sit back and you kind of go, the chancellor over there in Germany is sitting there saying, y'all not take a shower for a week or two. I'm like, that's supposed to save us enough. Germany has, because they were the golden child, has now tried to shut off. They have done demand destruction on gas for all these businesses. Volkswagen shutting down their plant.
Right. All these plants are shutting down. They're destroying their economy.
And they're leaving. And if the US was smart, they would have good energy policies. We would attract all the manufacturing to the US. We would be great, but we could then turn around and export low-cost energy and help the world. We'd all be singing Kumbaya and going on cruises, but people are too stupid.
Well, but I mean, what do we have in office making the decisions? We have the same mindset people that Germany has had all those years when they were destroying their energy sector by disadvantaging nuclear and natural gas and coal and subsidizing all this wind power. Well, we've got the same people in office in Washington today with the same mindset, not the same people.
Well,
and so it's like a religious cult that just spreads all over the place.
What I'd like to do is over our next shows, and we want to ask our listeners, both of mine, and then the bazillions of
my three, and
you
adding up.
No, yeah, you got the Hollywood elite listening to you. and what we could do is start asking for suggestions. Let's say on each of these podcasts that we start putting out a forum, we want to hear solutions. Let's try to help educate, but also let's talk solutions. What is it going to take to get the knotheads? I mean, from doing the triple down. Let's think of solutions.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to Jerry Maguire this? Help me, help you. Is that what you're trying to do here, Steve?
Show me the money, baby. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money, and I will help me help you.
That's right. But on the other hand, guys, whining about it only does so much. In our podcast, all three of our podcasts have something in common. We try to educate people about the goodness of fossil fuels, a good energy plan, having abundant, low cost energy, we all try to educate people. Let's try to figure out how we get this thing even bigger.
Yeah, and talk about solutions, which, I mean, wind and solar are some of the solutions. They have to be part of the solution, just like you were saying. We're going to need all of it.
We're going to need them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at it, look, the combustible engine is one of the greatest inventions of all time. Okay. I believe so. I don't know about you guys, but I use
Oh.
it every day.
Yeah.
But it's not a rocket science. Okay. And it takes when I tell somebody that, especially, somebody that's, maybe doesn't know too much about oil and gas industry, and they think how the gasoline makes the engine go. And it's like, the vapor is what makes those pistons go up and down. It's like, so hydrogen could do that. Okay. It's like, some form of a natural gas in a gas form, a solid liquid and a gas can make a piston go up and down. So there are other alternative ways that we can, provide great energy.
Come on,
And I was
RT,
talking to
out with it.
somebody the other day.
I thought we needed a defibrillator for a moment. Okay, everybody clear.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, RT.
No, but we won't see a real change until our major shipping industry has a new way of doing things. What I mean is like, look, we got to get. Last time I checked, a lot of the railroad engines are diesel.
Yes.
Obviously, the 18-wheelers are diesel, and
All the
obviously our
ships.
cargo ships.
Yep.
So whenever we find that affordable, abundant, and inexpensive, once it gets into that industry, I think we could then see it transition to the personal vehicles. And that's going to be step one, is getting it there.
Well said. I actually understood what you said. Outstanding, RT. That was great. Why do you not think that they don't talk about the hybrid cars? I love me some hybrid, and nobody is really touting a hybrid, because a hybrid has the best of both worlds. Let's throw some gas in there. And I love the pictures of the Tesla with a generator on the trailer hitch back there, so they could keep chugging down the road.
Well, it's because the people making the policy decision, I want to say, are religious zealots, because that's essentially what they are. They're absolutists. Okay. Yeah. It's all electric or nothing. That's their mindset. And so hybrids, unfortunately, still use those evil fossil fuels, even though they're an incredibly great, amazing bit of technology and innovation in the automotive industry. But, they're being disadvantaged from a public policy standpoint, and they're probably going to disappear.
They use a fourth of the batteries.
Yeah.
And you get 50 miles per gallon.
Yeah. Dramatically less emissions and all that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't own one. And so I couldn't tell you guys how good or not well they drive. I just know that from a personal standpoint, I do like my trucks and I like my Jeeps. And the other day when I went to the post office to pay Uncle Sam something, I'm sure that's the only reason why you go to the post office, I feel like, anymore. I saw an electric Jeep Wrangler, and I'm like, I don't understand it fully, because I'm like, how am I going to, you're going to have to take a generator with you now when you're off road,
right,
off the grid, as you like to be as a Jeep connoisseur. And it's electric. So I'm like, that's not a vehicle that speaks to me. But I am glad to hear. I know people that have those Toyota and Lexus hybrids, and
sure,
right. They swear by those things. What is it? That Toyota Prius. I've got some good jokes, but they're not kid friendly, so I'll leave those alone. But I've seen them in action, and people are cruising down the road. So I mean, I'll take y'all's word. I'll take your word on it.
Yeah, I mean, what could be better than a hybrid? I mean, the thing I like about the hybrid is you got your battery and you run your battery until it's 10% of capacity, then switches over to gas. And while the gas engine's running, it's recharging the battery. And
it even takes the energy from the brakes. So when you're slowing down, that charges
Right.
That to me is like, hey,
It's
wait.
just a brilliant bit of technology.
Well,
And
right. And why can't we just use the tires turning and harness that, because that would creates energy also.
well, I assume you could somehow from from the
Yeah.
rotors, right? Because you're having the friction generating energy, and
Yeah.
and it might do that for all I know. What I do know is this: I have a Volvo, and I was at the shop having it serviced one day, and I see this beautiful hybrid XC60, their mid-size SUV. And I thought, dang, that's nice. That's sweet. And so I went to one of the salesmen and we priced it out. And it was, what was it? 22% more expensive than the gasoline model. 22% higher price
Well,
than the
everybody can
gasoline
afford that.
model.
Everybody
Huh?
can.
Yeah, everybody. And EVs are the same way. Pure electric are the same way, even with all the subsidies. And so that's the real problem, is how can Americans, I mean, an electric vehicle today and a hybrid too, are they're luxury items for the upper 2% of society. Well,
I
the
will
other
say
98% isn't going to stop driving. And you got to figure out that price differential somehow.
Well, you just said something there, and I'll go conspiracy here. It's like 98% of America, needs to drive, and I have a feeling one day that that they are pricing everything out of the middle class's price
Right.
range. I mean,
And
when
trying
a
to force
half-ton
people to mass
pickup
transit.
now,
Do you know why?
yeah, mass transit is what they want, and it'll probably run on natural gas or oil to begin with.
Probably, or diesel. Yeah.
And then we'll know. Oh, here's something else I just thought of the other day. When they outlaw gasoline powered vehicles, that's all that'll be, is the mass transit. But when you got a half-ton pickup anymore, and I do, I look, I'm a GMC guy. All right, but when a half-ton pickup now is running $60,000 low end,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a lot of money. I don't care. I mean, okay, maybe not the 2%, but the other 98%, they are going to be. I mean, anybody that's smart with their money is going to go, man, that's okay. I mean, it's a tough time writing that check there. But no, again, conspiracy. I think they're doing this on purpose. As far as conspiracy theory goes, we are just here we are today. We are just lackluster with tons of real good oil and gas.
No, but today's an important day, because a little inside baseball. Today is election day. When we're filming this, I'm going to have the crew run this out as soon as we possibly can. And I think that from a social standpoint, we are seeing a great awakening as opposed to the great, change or something. Take a look at Brazil. China has taken control of South America. And the way that has happened is through renewables and energy. Ecuador, all the Chinese, they have loaned Ecuador all this money, and they're destroying the rainforest, drilling for oil, plowing through everything, and then shipping 70% of that to California. So Brazil was the last holdout for China. Have you seen what's going on in Brazil?
Yeah.
In the news. I mean, it is beautiful. And then you start taking a look all around the world. There's a great awakening happening. And the Great Reset is what the Schwab, whatever the knucklehead is over there. And
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, thank you. He reminds me of
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, you will be happy. Anyway, what a
Well, on nothing, and you will love it.
Yeah. Anyway, so you take a look at the Great Reset versus the Great Awakening, and the people are getting pissed.
Yeah.
I hope so, Stu. And I hope so. I don't know if we as Americans, if Americans don't vote for the Republicans to at least have the House and or the Senate, that awakening is not happening in real life somehow, whether it's whether it's being done forcefully to where, people's voice isn't being heard, or we do have 50% of this country now that, like David was saying a few minutes ago, that are turning more and more absolute. And you can't be absolute, especially for, look, I'm not the best with social media. Okay, I do my best. I do my likes on LinkedIn. I try to do a post when I can. This morning I knocked out 3 right back to back, just to get some more. But for most of these people that are these absolutists, they need a laptop or a phone. And last time I checked, a laptop or a phone needs a petroleum product to be made. So they don't understand and they don't comprehend. So getting back to the Coco, what's going on? The 27 summit?
COP 27,
COP
COP.
27 is that hopefully there is this great awakening going on, because nobody is listening to, what's his name, pound his chest anymore. They're all rolling their eyes, just going, yeah, okay, whatever.
That's why he's so frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, it is election day. And so hopefully we do see some positives going on here real soon. And
You bet.
I would like to think that we can, I will say to everybody out there, be ready for oil to go back up, and probably starting tomorrow.
A couple things. I personally think, and great points, RT, that the EIA and the Biden administration falsely changed the records and reporting to lower energy prices. Everything from the government numbers and everything else, all the SPR, it had one thing and that's lower the energy prices falsely. What happens when you lower energy prices falsely? When it starts to even out and they got to come up with the reports and everything else, you're going to have a whipsaw. And so what I'm predicting, and I could be totally wrong because I usually am, is that you come up here and there's going to be a gigantic price increase coming up here in the next couple of months, because all of the false things that were done are now going to start having to even back out.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I think is a great thing for the Great Awakening is Elon. I mean, that guy is a hoot. I have been enjoying 2 things on Twitter. I'll throw it back to you guys. I'm trolling. I'm having an absolute blast putting things out there and going, what about this? People are answering back, and I'm like, and then I jump in and do something stupid to them, and everything else. Like somebody will put out, are you voting Republican or are you voting for oil and gas? And I'll answer this. They come up and it goes 98% are voting for Republican, and just watch them melt down on the left. It is so much fun watching melt down. The downside is there are still things like David and Mike Umbro and DRW and all these other guys that I try to like. I'll like these things and it goes boom, and then it goes back to, and I'm trying to get it on a screenshot, and every time I get it on a screenshot, it'll only go back to 1. So the monkey business is still going on. And
he's still got a lot more work to do to clean all that up.
But you know what?
I'm having fun.
I need to get more active. What is mine again? I think I think mine's a Truth Crude or something.
Truth underline crude. Yes.
Truth underline crude.
See, this is why you're not effective on Twitter. You don't know your own handle. That's the first step. Step 1, learn your own handle.
And I couldn't even tell you what my Facebook is. I got one of those too. So.
We know who the driver
is going.
We know who the driver of the short bus is.
Hey, you know what? Get on. You know what? It's kind of like that joke I heard about the kangaroo driving. It's like, you know what? It may be a kangaroo driving, but you're going to get where you need to get to. So don't worry, okay? But I'm interested to see what this Elon Musk does for Twitter. Again, obviously, as we can tell and we laugh, I'm not the most. I'm not somebody that's ever really done Twitter. I think that Elon Musk is once again the pure American dream. I will say, I don't know too much of his background. I don't know if, he had money before or whatnot, but he is an immigrant.
He was broke. And
Okay.
He's an African American, and I love him for that. I mean,
Yeah. He's an African American, yes.
Absolutely.
And so he came here and he's created Tesla. He's shooting rockets off out of West Texas. And so
South Texas. He's the one down on South Padre. Bezos is out in South Texas.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I mean, West Texas.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. Yeah. And so I'm excited for that because you know what? I'm an entrepreneur. My father was an entrepreneur. Everybody, a lot of people in America are entrepreneurs. You two gentlemen also are great entrepreneurs. So I'm excited about that. Now, I am kind of, raising my eyebrows because I'm like, so why is it that all of a sudden this guy wants to, he's figured it out. I mean, look, Jeff Bezos owns what, the Washington Post or
the Post.
The Post. So I mean, we can go that route also. That he now owns his own news news outlet.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
What Twitter is. Yeah.
Yeah, and but I am excited because I do believe, good, bad, or indifferent, the freedom of speech is very important in America. And for you to shut down communications with a president before, I think it was before the last election, that was treason, good, bad, or indifferent, because the United States is a place of freedom of speech, for goodness sakes, and of freedom of press. I mean, there's so many things. So,
well, we're going to lose the freedom of the press because if you notice who the biggest proponents for all the censorship on social media are, it's the blue check reporters on Twitter.
Yeah,
right.
The blue check journalists are the biggest advocates for increased censorship by social media.
It's because
they're cutting their own necks. We're going to lose the free press if that continues. It can't continue.
But you know what? Now that we have Elon, he says he wants 10% on the way left. He wants 10% on the way right for entertainment. I like that. Well, you gotta have. I want the whole story. I want to hear what you're saying. Too. I want to hear. If you just got one thing, if you've got Truth Social only, I was on there and it's like, oh yay, Trump.
Right, it's a cheerleading section.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, great. I've heard what I want. I want to know what they think, what we think, and what everybody thinks. Let's have a town hall and discussion.
Every now and then I switch it over to CNN and MSNBC.
I never watch CNN except on election nights. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Fun fact about David Blackman.
CNN, thanks to John Keane, the guy who does all the, talking about
the maps
on the board.
Yeah.
CNN has the best election night coverage by far of any of those cable operations or network operations. Fox News is Jesus. I mean, the way they do it on Fox just drives me nuts. So I don't even turn them on election nights. But I'm going to be watching CNN. It's the only night this whole year I'm going to be tuned in to see.
I got too much work to do, and plus, I think buckle up because we're not going to know tonight, which is unfortunate.
I think we're going to know tonight.
I sure hope
we won't know who's going to win Pennsylvania, but I think we're going to know who's going to have the House and the Senate before the night's over.
About 2 more minutes.
I think we got such a big red wave coming. It's going to be by 10 o'clock Central Time. We'll know.
But you know what? If we lose Pennsylvania between Herman Munster and Oz, holy smokes.
I mean, that Fetterman guy is a hobo. It's unimaginable to me that they're going to elect a hobo to the Senate.
Okay, and that goes back to, that blows my mind. It's like, well, and it's not even a hobo. It's a guy that's not physically, mentally fit right now. I mean, so it's like, why is Pennsylvania having a tough time between, it's like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
It's really disturbing. I mean, I'm not a fan of Dr. Oz, but
I'm not either. He's from Turkey, and I don't care where you're from.
New Jersey.
He's from Turkey. I don't care.
He's
where
from somewhere.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, as long as you're American, as you would say, American. I don't.
Well, he is American. He's from New Jersey.
I'm just saying, somebody was throwing that out the other day, and I'm like, I don't care if he is from Turkey, folks. If he's American, I'm happy with him.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I was trying to say I don't care.
Yeah.
But but if you're like Herman Munster and you're going around with a hump on your back, dragging your thing like Quasimodo, looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you can't even say anything. You've been in a coma for 15 years. What was that movie? Anyway, just kidding. But when you sit back and kind of think about it, that man should be in a nursing home, and it's
probably
his wife.
Probably. And
so,
I will say this, I was watching that speech that President Obama was giving on Saturday there, and I think it would have done wonders had Fetterman just put on a button-up shirt and a pair of blue jeans to walk out on stage with President Obama. I think just that would have probably helped the guy out. It's like you're going to be on the Senate floor. And it's like, come on, let's I think they're taking it too far. It's like, hey, we understand we're not getting real politicians anymore, but let's at least still put a suit and tie on.
Let's get a human.
Yeah.
Not walk out there in a sweatsuit with the president.
The reason they got him is because Biden can talk to dead people. So, they figured if he's going to be Herman Munster and he's been dead for a few years and then sewn together, Biden can talk to him. I'm sorry, I'm all grumpy.
Sounds legit to me, man.
All right. Okay. Last thing around the horn, we're going to have a game plan. We're going to have one positive thought on how we come up with solutions on the three podcasters walk into a bar, as we commonly call ourselves. David, what's coming around the corner for you?
Well, how we start solutions. Well, right now, the politicians are making all the decisions, right, where energy policy is concerned. And that's what's throwing us into an energy crisis and an economic recession. So the way you solve that problem is through elections. And we're recording this on election day. Everyone should get out and vote.
Yep.
And vote according to your beliefs. I don't care which way you vote, but everybody ought to go vote and participate in the process. It's the only way anything will change.
Yep. RT and you.
Yeah, definitely. Election day today. Everybody get out and vote. Also, I'm excited to say, hey, yeah, we'd like to hear from people. What are your ideas? Share them and email them to Stu Turley and David Blackman, and they will get on them and we'll discuss them. And
but don't email them to RT because he doesn't know his email address is.
No, shoot, poor man. He's an oil man. But he can't read. All right. Hey, guys, one last thing here. Vote early, vote often. And I'm checking to see if my great grandparents that have been dead for 70 years vote. So I'm really excited what they say. But as we go through this, I'm dead serious. For all the people that listen to this, you have three podcast hosts here with energy podcasts. I want to hear from everybody, and everybody has an open invitation to come to my podcast, David's podcast, or RT's podcast, and we want to spread the word from everybody. So we want to hear the renewable, because we don't care. We want to hear the oil and gas. We want to hear nuclear. We want to hear from everybody. So from me and my compadres, we sure appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Adios.